You are listening to Food for Worms, the original true grime podcast.
I really like sleep, and I really like sleeping, and I'm kind of a mess if I don't get like 7 to 8 hours.
Yeah, I need a good while in the sack to be at all useful for the following day.
Hell yeah. What about you, Darien?
I function between 4 and 6 hours, and then if I get the 7 or 8 hours, I'm like, whoa, where's all this energy coming from? And then I relax.
Really? You feel really energized?
No, I feel like I should have gotten more sleep, but I do. I'm able to function like that, and when I do get that good rest, it's like a fucking revelation. Like I should do this more often, and then and then I try to, and then I don't.
Yeah.
It's been interesting with like not having to work at like a nightclub anymore, and then just being like, I don't need to be up, but I am, and sometimes I'm reading, sometimes I'm just being a weirdo, whatever that means.
Well, and like I have to be a morning person because of my job. So like I get up at 5:30, 6 a.m. plus having a kid. It just like forces me to do so. But like my brain works the best at night. So it's kind of like a my day job, and then my brain doesn't turn on until about like 5 p.m. So it's kind of an odd. Good thing my job is completely brainless. So
just real quick, this is I think useful. This came up, and I meet weekly with two of my very best friends, and it's sort of our accountability group and our place to vent and therapy. And
cool.
One time we were talking about my friend Lakshmi. She loves to, like, her peak hours are like midnight to 4 a.m. She just like loves that time. And she had learned that there's this kind of like, I forget how she positioned it, but it's sort of this like evil, like diabolical pleasure of like the world is sleeping and I'm awake.
Yep.
And there's this sort of like, I don't know if it's like sadomasochism. No, maybe not. But like this like weird desire, and like, I forget the word around it, and it would be really helpful if it came to me right now. But there's this mental game that we play with like everybody's sleeping and I get to be awake. And I'm like, dude, I feel that sentiment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you guys feel that way?
I think that's definitely D. Like D is the one. I'm not saying you're like a masochist and shit, but like you're definitely just the night owl that is like, you are thriving because you're like, I'm up, bitches, and then I'm up at like 6 a.m. and D's like, Sam had to get up at 6 a.m. What a bitch.
No, okay. First off, you're projecting. I've never said that. If anything, I look whatever, Sam. But no, I know that feeling. But mine is that feeling comes when I used to be out and about, like biking and being with just my homies, and we'd bike all night. We used to have bonfires underneath different bridges. Also, welcome to the Food for Worms podcast. My name is Darien, and this is
my name is Sam, and with us today is our fellow podcast homie, Miss Melon. She's got a podcast called "To Hump a Pillow" with Melon. So, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm very comfortable to be here. I'm thrilled. I feel like there's nowhere else I'd rather be.
Yeah.
We're probably the least formal couple of dudes. So, but yeah, how's your day going? How is it? Good.
Let me think about that. God, what did I do today? Good. I had 2 meetings this morning. Very productive. I found out that I might be going to Portland at some point this month.
Word up.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, a lot of good things happening today. Changed my car wheels with my dad in the driveway, his driveway. I had a bulge in my tire, and
bulges are not great always.
Yeah.
Not in the tire. Not in the tire, folks.
It's a weird one.
No.
Yeah,
I did not leave my bed until like 2 p.m. today because I got my second dose of the vaccine yesterday, and it wiped me out at around 1 a.m. So yeah.
I got mine this morning, and I'm just waiting. I've been sitting at home drinking water, and then it's being like, I'm just hoping that it doesn't just kick me full in the chest, and then I'll send them out of fucking out of commission.
Yeah, I've heard that the second one is the ass kicker.
Yeah,
I've heard. I've heard a lot. I've heard a lot.
Well, I thought I was gonna miss it, and because I went the whole day through work. I got it yesterday morning, and I went the whole day through work, and nothing was going on, nothing at all. And then 1 a.m.
And
hits,
then it was just sneaking up on you slowly behind
I've
in
got
the
the
darkness.
chills and cold sweats, and I'm like, Brooke, I need a fucking blanket. And I was like, and she was just giving me shit earlier because I was like, honey, can you spoon me?
She's like, no.
Now that I'm feeling a little bit better, she's got to give me shit just because she had to spoon me at 4 a.m. and I was still in blankets and shit.
God, I'm so glad that you asked for that. That's so great for you. Please do. Please spoon me.
She's always the big spoon too, so I think I don't know, I really enjoy that. She's definitely the caretaker. I think that kind of projects the role of caretaker if you're the large spoon, I guess, because you're protecting. I don't know. That's at least where my brain goes. I always feel weird being a large spoon too.
Do you?
Dee's looking at me funny because I feel odd being the large spoon.
All right, so if we're all the large spoons in our relationships, or even just a spoon, what kind of spoon are you?
I'm a
I'll go first. I'm a ladle.
Oh,
you're a ladle?
Okay.
That is a good.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you would be a ladle. You
just dump me in there. Let me just pull out what you need. Like go for all the meat and the carrots.
Yeah, it's like you're like the D took all the meat.
You piece of shit.
Dee's taking all the meat, and then everyone else only has broth left.
Yeah.
All the meat's gone.
I'm definitely
sorry,
spork.
everyone. I have impulse control, and it's like, yeah, well.
You're the spork, Sam?
Yeah, I would definitely be a spork because I don't know which I don't really know what I'm doing, so I think it's just I'd be kind of awkward because either way I feel kind of weird with this. What, metal or plastic?
Yeah,
I've never seen too many metal sporks. If you know where to get them, I'm totally down. But I would prefer to be a metal spork, but I'll be whichever one you want, D.
How about you, Ellen?
I don't know why this is coming to mind, but like the pasta spoons that have the hole in them, and like
hell yeah,
the forkies on the side
that
seem very non-functional.
Yeah. Yes, I agree, but I feel like they are to a point, but like just barely. I think
it's not for liquid. It's not for liquid.
What I learned in the past couple of years is that like the hole in the middle is supposed to be a serving of pasta. You're supposed to put the exact amount through that, and then that's a serving of pasta.
Oh my God! Wow.
What?
This is ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Everyone freak the fuck out.
They randomly just made it like so that they could just sell other utensils. They're like, somebody will buy this, whatever.
Whatever.
This random spiky fucking thing. But now I find out it has a real use, D. Thank you.
Yeah. Most people that just make utensils are nihilists anyway. So like, this doesn't matter. Fuck it, and they just put on market. Anyway.
That's hilarious. Thank you for that. Thank you for that wonderful teaching.
Yeah, but I wanted to go. Yeah, but going back to before we jumped into the actual thing, you say your friend, like she's at night when it's between like 12 and 4 a.m.
Yeah,
where it's like
loves
you're
that.
awake and no one else is. Hell yeah, like I know that feeling. I was saying earlier when we were biking around at night, having fires in random places and leaving no trace, which is one of our rules. I was gonna be like, it's me, 6 or 7 or 8 of my homies, and then we're just biking around and we're saying like we're not doing anything. We're going from one end of the city to another. Until at the crack of dawn, I stand there like, now I've gone through several state parks, and someone let off a fucking mortar launcher in the last one, but it's fine, it's cool. We're not
biked through several state parks in the middle of the night,
or just city parks, just in the night. Okay. Just paths. And listen, if there's like 12 of you, if there are 12 of you, and you all have bikes, and there's a path, just go, and it's fun.
Wow, that's astounding to hear that. That is time that I've not spent.
But I just picture you out in nature. Like that's where I thought you were talking, like
Absolutely
out in
not.
a state park. Like you guys have like your tents and your sleeping bags and what. That's
like we have enough gear to make. Anybody in that group always had like enough gear that if we needed to sleep outside, we could. But it'd be like, no, we're just gonna be all real cold and miserable people in the morning. But it'd be. Yeah. But we would have each other.
Just get naked and spoon each other. So back to our spoon conversation. Dee's
Full
circle. He holds everybody in his ladle when he goes camping at state parks in the middle of the night while he's biking with his 7 to 9 homies.
And then he's talking about like, hey, yo, just so y'all aware, the hole in the middle of the spoon is for pasta servings, okay, and nothing else. If you use it for anything else, you're a bad friend.
Just can't
spoon
even.
me. Please spoon me.
Just don't have that be your conversation starter while you're spooning somebody. Like you're the big spoon and you're just like, hey, that hole in the middle of the
just
that's your serving size. And then they're just like, okay, gee, I'm gonna go grab it. Okay, thanks.
And just bringing it closer. It's like, I'm having a really nice time.
Yeah. You got to pay the troll toll if you want.
Oh my god.
You have to pay the toll to get in. No, I just pictured Danny DeVito
under the bridges, D. Under the bridges.
And he's like, ah.
God, this stuff is all so cosmically connected. It's beautiful.
It only happens in D's life, so that's a day to day though. Now that it's able to camp weather, we're gonna be seeing D pulling his ladle out. So. Or getting his ladle on. I don't know how to say it.
Get your ladle on, boy.
Oh my god! Everybody get your ladle on. Everybody get your ladle on.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like what? Yeah. Are you the Big Dipper or the Little Dipper? It doesn't matter.
Get your ladle on.
Yeah. I'm gonna Ursa Major my way into your heart. Stupid.
Poetry.
That's so sweet, D. What?
So yeah, one of the things me and Sam have gotten into over the last conversations that we've had in person, which is nice, but like just the things that our parents told us as kids, and then the things that we thought that you know, if you're a careful person, you'll be okay, or just things that you've heard about from movies and TV shows or whatever. So it's like, I made like a small list of things that we thought that would be like bigger issues as adults than they actually are. And the first one
that our parents told us to like watch out for, or that movies, like we always saw in movies, and we thought that this was going to happen a lot more as adults, and then we're like, no, that was all a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, I'm excited. Okay.
So, do you read your list?
So the first one, dealing with quicksand.
Oh yeah, that was.
I thought that as a kid, I was like, after I saw the live action Jungle Book movie, that quicksand would just be a fucking thing that pops up at the park.
Yeah.
At school. And the fucking thing, I'm like, beware the quicksand. The whole thing's full of sand. I don't fucking care, man. We could all die here in fucking 4th grade.
Dude, that was real. Thank you. That was really spooky stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was always like you're running with reckless abandon through a jungle or a forest, and then all of a sudden somebody just drops down. And then when it happens, like you're never around any brush. You're always alone, and then you just get sucked down. And
I also thought I would lose my horse, like the never-ending story. That's what I always thought like would happen. But I would first have to have a horse, and I think that was actually like a mud hole or some shit, right? That wasn't even sand. So yeah, there's my tangent and where my brain
goes. That was a traumatizing scene.
Yeah, it was a Atreyu in the pits of sadness,
screaming for his fucking horse, and what's that?
Atreyu in the pits of sadness.
Yes, exactly.
Is that it? No, let's look it up. In the pits of sadness. I'm looking this up now. We have to find out.
What for the never-ending story?
Yeah, is it never?
That movie takes so many fucking twists and turns. Like, you know, like I don't know. At one point, they're like, "What? What do you know?"
Oh no, the horse's name was Artax, and he dies in the swamp of sadness.
Swamp of sadness.
Yeah. Wow.
Swamp of sadness.
Yeah. Well, my whole mood's fucked up. This is great. All right.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna just deep belly breathe over here for a second. Pour one out for
chakras. The second one, as a kid, just as kids, and I'm gonna fully admit I do this as an adult still.
Yeah.
Turning off the basement lights and running up the stairs.
Oh, for sure. Oh yeah.
And especially if you have like the hollow back stairs.
Yep.
Like if you have that, like my grandpa, whenever I would stay the night at my grandpa's house, that was like the house specifically. I would have to go like turn the lights off because his freezer was down there, and I'd have to go get us like ice cream. And that was like the exciting part was ice cream. But then someone will grab you through the fucking stairs, and like, if you ever think of it, it's like Pennywise from It, because like the first I don't know like 100 pages of that movie is you know, Georgie having to go down to the basement to get the paraffin wax for his fucking paper boat.
Yeah, no, we had these stairs growing up in my mom's house that they didn't have the hollow backs, but there was metal bars that ran around both sides of the stairs. And once you turn off the lights
Yep.
downstairs, it was just darkness in every direction. So as soon as the lights went off, I would fucking book it. And I did that up until I fucking moved out when I was like 20. And I was just like,
Yep.
I was like, the lights, no, 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 no. I was like, why the fuck are you running in the house? And I was like, my big ass. I was like, because I haven't let go of some childhood scary things and leave me alone. It's whatever.
Then you end up falling down the stairs.
Yeah, several times. No, it even happens when even at the label.
Tripping up the stairs.
Up the stairs, yep.
Tripping up the stairs is real. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cracking my teeth on these things. Yeah, but even at the label, there's a decent sized basement down there. And like, once you're in a place long enough, you're comfortable there because there's only one way in, one way out. There's no way anybody's down there. But you turn off the fucking light, it just turns into a fucking hall of shadows, and then you see the darkness, and the darkness just becomes thick, and there's nothing in there. No thanks. Absolutely no fucking thank you.
But now, as an adult, do you ever turn the lights off and try to run upstairs just for a thrill? Because I find myself doing that. Like when I'm doing like laundry, like there's one little like pull switch above my laundry in the basement, and I won't turn my lights on, like going down, and then I'll just pull that light and then go up, and it's just pitch dark. And then I don't know. That's how I get my rocks off now. Now that I'm not leaving my house, and I just doing laundry and running up the stairs. That's the most exciting part of my day.
Adulthood. Yeah.
And this and this right here, talking to you guys.
Yeah.
What I do whenever I was like house and dog sitting for Bird, I'd do my laundry at their spot. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam, for context. This is great. But they would do laundry. Yeah, I would do laundry at their house, and then I would turn the lights on where they had switches everywhere else, and then I would turn those off as I was going upstairs. But there was one light that was above everything, in the above like their washer and dryer, that I would just leave on my whole stay there. And I was like, no, that right there, that light right there, that's for the shadows. That is for the boogeyman in the night that's coming for me. That I still feel this way now as a 31-year-old. So I'm like, I'm fucking good.
Like, especially in a house that you're not as familiar with, like it's like, you don't know the height of each step that you're gonna fall up once you trip.
Yeah.
You could.
The one thing I'll say is that there's a big ass pitbull there.
Unexpected.
Yeah. There's a big ass pitbull at the house.
A factor that would change it up.
Yeah, so I feel a little better at that house because like if anybody gets within 3 feet of the house, she knows. So she's like, "What the fuck?" So I never get upset when she's like barking. I'm like, "Who is it? Is someone else here?" It's good to have this little early warning system. This is great.
Yeah.
The other one would be ever flying anywhere near the Bermuda Triangle. I always thought that like if you do that, you're just gonna disappear. You're gonna die.
Oh, that's fair. I think, fall into the ocean and die and perish, I guess, is like what I think of. Yeah, like, I haven't thought about that in a long time, but I share that.
And I don't even know where Bermuda is. So is that like where Amelia Earhart got lost? Is that correct? Right? She flew off into the sky and was never found? Or am I thinking of the wrong person?
I don't know. Planes? I think of though, like in like spy movies, like somewhere over the Bermuda Triangle, how they like,
like the
and it's like where
guys, like that's his hideout is in the Bermuda Triangle or some shit. Well, I think in the Addams Family, that's where fucking they expected Uncle Fester to be there or something, or that's where they thought he was for the past like 50 years or whatever. When Christopher Lloyd, Uncle Fester comes back and never mind, sorry.
I don't remember, but I think you might be right. And it's interesting that the Addams Family movies come up twice now with you.
Is this the second time?
The perfect film?
Yeah. Darien and I talked about it in our episode on Tamba Pillow. And we talked about the weird relationship between Gomez and Morticia and how I was like, I kind of like their dynamic. But anyways. Yeah,
I love the dynamic.
They're kinky fucking dynamic.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the name of your podcast, To Hump a Pillow. Is it? I think of To Kill a Mockingbird, and that's just because it starts with 2. Is that where you got the name from?
So I'm glad you asked. There is a little bit of like word pleasure here, and I like To Kill a Mockingbird and like To Pimp a Butterfly, like two. What is it? Two verb a noun. I love that like flow.
Right.
And so when I was thinking about like, I really want to talk to people about pleasure, intimacy, relationships, and, make adults really much better than our generation at talking to kids about sex. I was like, it's to hump a pillow for sure. In all reality, I humped more stuffed animals than I did pillows, but it just doesn't flow as well,
and I'm the rather, like, I always wanted the fucking body size pillow, like your friends would have it. I never got the body pillow. So I don't know. I put my stuffed animals in the closet because I didn't like them looking at me while I was sleeping.
Thank you. We all thought it. We're still thinking it. We're still thinking it. Yep.
And then eventually in high school, I actually got the body pillow, and that was like in between my legs, for about 4 or 5 years. So yeah, I can relate to the name, but I guess I didn't even think of that when I first, heard of and listened to your podcast. Do you want to tell the folks out there what you do? Because I know it's like a vast, like you touch all sides of like, sexual intelligence and awareness and all of these different things. Do you want to give us like a better understanding just of like what you're trying to accomplish with what you are doing in your medium of your podcast? And I know you do a lot of stuff online, outside of your podcast, and you're trying to do more and more things.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, of
I
course.
love that you called it sexual intelligence.
Is that valid?
I think I might like adopt that. It might
cool.
already be out there, but this is the first time I've heard it, and I really like it.
Yeah,
I've always been really curious about sex. I've always been really excited to talk about sex, and I think it's because I was really sexually active as a very small kid. Sexual imagery came into my life in like kindergarten, first grade. I don't know if that would have, put me on the path differently or not, because I think I just like, some people just find their genitals and figure out like, wow, this feels good at a young age. I harbored a lot of shame around it.
Or not knowing about them whatsoever. Like what's this shit for besides peeing,
Right. And I really do believe that we all have some sort of kink or fetish, and we certainly all have fantasies, right? Because we've all like read things and seen movies and stuff. And I think between religion and the pressure to be a good person in society, we harbor a lot of shame around kinks, desires, fetishes, sex that we want to have. And I'm out there trying to tell people that like you can be both an incredibly flawed human and incredibly, desirous and fetish person and still be an amazing human in the world, right? Because the more we suppress this stuff about us down and away, the more it eats at us over time and seeps out through the cracks in other ways, right? Secrets keep you sick and lead you to shame. And so I'm out to really de-shamify our sexual entity and really invite people to start to think about pleasure in different ways, right? Like pleasure is not just through sex. It's through like a walk in the sunshine, or like the smell of coffee in the morning, or like the smell of fall, like with a cool breeze that comes across you,
or Darien ladling you.
Yes,
God,
yes.
Or
like belly laughter, like incredible belly laughter with friends. Like so much pleasure is in there. And I think that especially men are. I just took a racial justice course today, and he was talking about. His name was Calvin Terrell, and he was talking about how in his household the only emotion that was supported was anger. Like you could be angry, but you couldn't feel joy. You couldn't be sad. You couldn't like show hurt. And I was like, damn, dude, there it is again. Men not being able to express the full gamut of emotions. What the fuck?
That's what I wanted to say. Like, you had myself and Darien both, separately on your podcast, and I loved it. It was a thrill because I like to, I'm open pretty much about anything. And I love that you being a woman hosting a podcast about sex, like you could make it just be like, this is how women feel about sex. This is how like, hey, let's talk between two girls, which obviously you do, but you also want to hear the side of all humans, which made me really appreciate being on it. And, you and I being able to have a conversation between having both sides and me being like different from other men and, obviously from other women, I really appreciate that you're, getting a full spectrum of the sexual intelligence.
Thank you. Yeah.
or
I
at least my understanding of sexual or, my sexual intelligence or whatever.
Yeah. So I am a sex coach. I'm a sex and relationship coach and uneducator. I'm a healer. I'm a compassion cultivator. I am here to remind people that they are worthy of love and being understood. And I help women. I tend to help women who people please. I help couples. I have a couple different offerings. And if you're interested, you can check out my website, ellenmelon.com. For more information on coaching and what that looks like. But if you want to listen to the episodes where I host Sam and Darien individually, you should look for those. We talk a lot about like male conditioning, messages that we received as young boys, and they were amazing episodes. So sorry to shamelessly plug myself.
No, please plug yourself. No, I had so much fun talking with you. And I was going to be like, me and Sam, we are two peas in a pod, but we both move around differently. Like he's open, and while I'm very reserved.
You are, yeah.
In all things. But when I'm speaking with somebody that knows what the fuck they're talking about, where I can say something without there not necessarily being any shame, but just being like, if I say this to you, you have you're like, let me just open up this file really quick. You're like, pull this out the phone, like, yeah, so this is my knowledge and this things, and you were so amazing to talk to. And I had a fucking blast too. Like, I'm really excited to hear what Sam's episode, and I'm Sam. You're gonna look at me like, damn, Darien, when you hear mine.
He was like, yeah. Within the first 15 minutes, I was like talking about my dick and shit, and he was like,
oh, what? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. We talked about period sex. We talked about our common kink for Morticia and Gomez.
Yep.
Adams. We covered a lot of ground.
That's where the other shout out was for Adam's family. I thought you were saying like earlier in this episode, and I was like, I blanked on that conversation.
Yeah, no, it's dope. But yeah, Ellen, no, you're doing good fucking work out here. One where I want to go back to what you used earlier at the very beginning of your last opus that you were giving us of the knowledge. You used the word uneducated.
Yeah, uneducated.
Can you expound on that? Like, you're uneducating what?
Yeah, so we are born into a society where there are social ways of being and social expectations that people have on you. So from a young age, our parents are already policing us, kind of gently guiding us on how we are supposed to be in the world. Yep. So that becomes a part of like our domestication, right? Our way of being. And if we don't become enlightened of that set of rules that's bestowed upon us, we can get really carried away with these limiting beliefs of like how we should show up in the world. And what happens is when we think that we need to show up in this way, we get disconnected from our authentic self. And when we abandon our authentic self, resentment happens, depression happens, anxiety happens, anger happens. And one day we wake up and we're like, who the fuck am I? Yeah. And so what I mostly specialize in, so this is like, on a life level, but what I really specialize in is like unlimiting beliefs or limiting beliefs in your sexuality. So in the coaching container I offer, I sort of position it as like, I provide the stage, you unmask your actors. Show me who you want to be. Show me the authentic you. Because when you're authentic,
Gomez Adams.
Yes. If you want to be, God, they're so hot.
And I'll be Uncle Fester.
Yeah,
you would be Uncle Fester, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
But we all like. I was talking about this with the client today. When we are in authenticity, it radiates. Miles out in every direction, right? When you've all seen these moments or you've all felt these moments, when you are in your authentic self and you're in flow, you feel great. That is your erotic energy. That is your confident, creative, playful energy. And when we are vibrating at that level, don't you notice how people are like, God, I like this person. I want that. I want to be near you. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Shout out to Eros, the god of love, and just being your full authentic self.
Yeah,
Good shit.
loving yourself, talking
Okay.
to yourself in a nice way. Let's. Woo!
Oh, I need to do that more. Word up.
Mhm.
That's
Well, Ellen, you are wonderful. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this quick musical number.
Word.
Sam, what's that song again? Was it something?
Which one?
Get a job.
Oh, yep, dip, 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 get a job.
Get a job. Thank you. Yeah, and that's how I got out of the Mexican drug cartel, and it got real scary after that. But once everybody else was cool, you shake a few hands, you kiss a few babies, you elbow bump a few grandpas, man, everything was cool.
God, that's quite a story, D.
Yeah, man, never again, never
great.
again. Yeah,
Wow.
that's why they call me the big ladle. It's all.
Oh,
And
well
we're back,
done,
everybody.
Tina. Well done.
Oh,
That's
I clipped
officially
that,
your name is the big,
big ladle.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely fucking
love that.
No, call me
people be
Ursa
like,
Major. Turn
"Snoop!"
me upside down. God damn it.
Love that.
Anyway.
Tonight we
Hey.
wanted to what?
No, I'm listening. Say your thought, buddy.
Oh, okay. Tonight we wanted to have a conversation about where we all think about, or where we all think we go when we pass away, when we pass on and die. Ellen, where do you think you go when you die, or what happens when you pass?
I love this topic, and I'm really glad that we're talking about it. I think I've had a few different thoughts about where we go when we die, and the one I've landed on is God. I guess I haven't landed. Let me rephrase this. I don't think I've landed on the answer to myself, like where do we go when we die? But it's that
Right.
the act, that moment of dying, what happens there, that I'm most interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I've somehow created this really lovely thought. For me, this is what makes the most sense. I think about all the people being born on this planet. I think about all the people dying within the seconds that this happens, in any given moment, right?
Right.
And for me, it makes the most sense that as someone's soul's leaving the earth, another soul is coming into earth, right? Into
Right.
being
Right,
delivered,
right.
via C-section or via vaginal canal. It makes the most sense that there's this sort of handoff. You know what I mean? Of sorts. Like there's this, something is recycled or regenerated there.
I mean, that makes totally, like a lot of sense. Like in my past life type of thing, when people say that, you're a soul came into you being a baby type of thing.
Like there was just sort of this in passing, like someone just died, someone's being born, and boop. Sort of like a collision and like a merging.
Wouldn't it be crazy if it was someone passing like in a hospital next to someone being birthed in a hospital?
Yeah, it would be.
That's why they
I mean, it'd be really weird to have just an old person dying next to you, but yeah.
Yeah, but so that was sort of born in I want to say late elementary school, early middle school. And
you're thinking of that?
Yeah. Just that whole recycle. I just this whole cyclical thing that is our planet and is our being. I just was like,
right.
For me, that makes the most sense. But the where, fuck, I don't know where the where is.
Or what happens. I like to think, have you ever seen the movie Paranorman? I have to go into another movie because that's just where my brain goes. But Paranorman, do you know that
I don't
movie?
think I have. I think I've heard of it.
I have.
It's a claymation movie where this little kid Paranorman, or his name's Norman, but it's called Paranorman. But he can see the dead and he can talk to them.
Oh yeah, I have seen that. I have.
He first noticed this with his grandma just sitting on the TV, watching or sitting on the couch watching TV with him. And I like to think I hope that that's kind of the idea, is you can live and or not live, but continue kind of existing with your loved ones. And I like to think that people from my past, I don't know where they go, but I know that they're still impacting my life in some way. I'm obviously not like sitting watching TV with my grandfather that passed away, but I like to think that he's still in the room with me. And maybe that's just from my Catholic upbringing and like people saying like, oh, Jesus is in the room with us, and I'm not religious whatsoever. So that's kind of, I guess a little far-fetched from religion and this whole idea that I'm thinking, but I like to think that maybe my grandpa is sitting on the couch with me while I'm watching TV.
Oh, I love that. I want that for you.
At least that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. A few of my friends have gone and seen mediums, and I've looked into, there's some stuff on Netflix around mediumship and just the sort of upbringing of like healers and light workers and mediums. There's this big like surge of this because people need fucking healing desperately. And I think about like, God, it comes back to like my mom would say like your guardian angels are looking over you, and I would be like a young kid masturbating, and I would be like, oh God, who the fuck is here?
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Who the fuck is here? Grandpa? But we've all been there, right? Like,
yeah, no,
I still think of my grandpa while I'm just kidding.
Wow. Holy shit, Sam. No, I have turned pictures down when I was like, something's about to happen in this room, and that's not going to be facing me when that happens. So
that's right.
Let's
Protect yourself. Yeah. But I've always liked the idea of like this spiritual, like people are around you, and the mediums say that people are hanging out around you. And so when I watched the show with the kids in the Upside Down, Stranger
Things. Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, God, what if the Upside Down is something that we have here on Earth? And what if that's like what heaven is? Like
it's called Walmart.
The spiritual world. No, it's not.
I know. Sorry, I don't mean.
It's like the alternate reality, like spiritual world that.
Yeah, like what if that is what heaven is? It's here with us. It's just we can't see it. It's the Upside Down or the Inside Out or the loop-de-loop. I don't know. But yeah.
What do you think, D? What's in your mind? What are your thoughts on the subject?
Y'all ever like, and I'm sure you have, but you ever have like a really, really, really good stretch to the point where like all of your muscles in your back are like kind of squeezing your spine for a second, and then for like one moment you get kind of lightheaded for a moment, and then you just feel nothingness.
Yeah, I do.
That's what I feel like the moment is when you were either born or when you die.
How long have you had that exact sensation and language? How long has that lived in your brain?
I've had the language for a few years now, but like I've just been like just like one big like stretch, and all of a sudden everything just fucking just feels just elation and just nothingness for a moment until like you just stop, and then you just kind of relax, and then you kind of come back into yourself.
Love that. Yeah.
And that's what I've kind of felt about it, because there have been times where I've done it and then it's lasted too long. I'm like, well, come back, buddy, come back. But and maybe that's a medical issue I should look into. But
it just lasts too long and it feels like your foot's asleep.
Yeah, but it's my whole body in existence. No, but
funny. Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Beautiful idea, D. I love that.
Yeah.
Well said.
But I will say, like, as for where I think we go when we die, I'm comfortable not knowing. I think that whatever our faith is, if we have ideations of faith, it's just kind of like what we grew up with and then what's stuck with us, but we don't necessarily like subscribe to it, but it's a piece of our lived history that lives within us. So Sam, you're Catholic.
I'm not Catholic.
You grew up Catholic, so you still have those thoughts and some of those patterns from that faith within you.
Right, just the understanding of how my brain works,
Yeah, but it's just your lived experience. Well, mine, I've never been, and I'm staunchly in favor. I'm staunchly like, I don't subscribe to any one religion, and I mostly don't because I don't believe in doing good or being good because I think somebody's looking over my shoulder.
Right.
Wait. Say that again.
I don't do good or be good because I think someone's looking over my shoulder. I try to do good and be good because I want to do good in the world and just live a good, comfortable existence, whatever that means to me. So with that, I don't think I'm like, if he dies, he dies, and if it happens, it happens. But I don't want to die in pain. But that's about it.
Right.
I think we make our hell and we live in our hell. We make our heaven, we live in our heaven here on Earth right now. And
Well, and
and just as easily as I could have just been like, one moment I'm here and the next moment I'm not. That's kind of felt like how being born was. It's like you were floating around, huh?
I really hope that like the whole I'm just hoping now for that stretchy feeling, like
Yeah.
going
I
out,
know,
like,
yeah.
if that's what it is, then I'm
It's
all
good.
right.
That it's
Yeah.
very euphoric, and maybe it is like a little glimpse of out of body. And I'm gonna pay attention next time.
Yeah, but you're
Yeah.
sitting there, you
Like
just kind of
add a
you do the whole
sneeze to
stretch,
that.
and then you're just like, I'm floating off, come back, buddy. Oh God! And I look around, I'm like, did anyone else see that? I'm looking around, I'm just like, I'm cool.
Like, did
Yeah,
I just leave my fucking body?
Holy fucking shit! And now I have all this forbidden knowledge.
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm thinking right now, one of my favorite movies is Big Fish.
Ooh, good.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Have you seen it?
Good movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah. There's that point where they go see the actress, what's her name? Bonham Carter. Helena Bonham Carter.
Helena. Yeah.
Helena Bonham Carter. Yep.
She plays the witch, and if you look into her eye, you get to see how you die. Do you remember that
Okay.
scene in the movie?
It's been a while,
Right.
but no.
Yeah, and so Ewan McGregor, like everybody else, goes and sees the witch's eye, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, that's how I go," and they're in fear. And then Ewan McGregor's character looks in the eye, and he goes, "Oh, so that's how I go." And I remember being a kid and watching that and being like, "How fucking courageous, Ewan McGregor! Can I get some of
How can you
that?"
be so content with
How? Yeah, like
just comfortable with your demise or your death,
yeah, it was like I felt this deep aspiration of like, I'm gonna get me some of that. I'm gonna get me some of that courage. Yeah. Have you guys ever had like what fears around dying or fears of where you go afterwards?
I think I did.
Not really, no. Oh, sorry. I think
No, Sam,
as a
go.
kid,
Sam, go,
probably
please.
a little bit more because I didn't, that understanding of, you're supposed to go to heaven or you're supposed to go to hell. Like that's what I was raised to understand. And now, like Darien, I'm more so just like, I don't give a fuck where I go because there's no possible way that I am going to know. Like while I'm here on Earth, there's no way I'm going to know. And I am totally okay with being oblivious. So, I mean, I guess I'm just content with the unknown because there's no way I'm ever going to figure it out.
Yeah, it's a big fishbowl.
You really are content? Like you really really?
Not knowing where I'm going to go. Like I just with like where I've come to with where I'm at in my life right now, I'm more focused on making what I have currently just the best it can possibly be. So that, when I do go, maybe it'll be the right time and it'll be great because I made the best of, what I can while I'm here. So, I mean, I guess that's what I've tried to, as I've gotten older, matured. That's more so like my focus is not like, oh, where am I going to go when I die? When am I going to die? Blah, blah, blah. Let's just fucking, do great things or try to at least and live your best
Sam,
life.
I feel like you subscribe without shortening what you just said. I feel like you subscribe to I can't take any of this shit with me.
Right. Exactly.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, and being a person that has a lot of shit, I'm gonna have a huge garage sale when I die.
God.
I can't take it with me. So
yeah.
It's that what happens on it's my favorite Kendrick line. He didn't say it, but just from everybody else. But it's like, what happens on Earth stays on Earth. That line.
I love
like,
that.
hell yeah.
Well, what about you, D? Any fears about dying? How you'll go? Where you go?
Only fear is I don't want to be like in some prolonged type situation that eventually leads to my demise. I think that's my only real issue, and that comes with like taking care of my body now, so it doesn't turn on me like a fucking bastard X amount of years from now, which is something I've always grappled with because I've always kind of struggled with my weight, and I know that that's a thing that will, if you don't fucking address it sooner or later is going to come. And it's gonna be, hey buddy, okay, and in the little death, then I'm gonna do this, and that just got dark. But
well, but being aware of that is legit and can.
Yes, but people have been
that.
aware of that, can be aware of that their whole fucking life, and then never do anything about it. So it's one of the things
But you
I'm
are
working on.
proactive, D, is what I'm trying to say.
I have been proactive, but I also have to acknowledge that sometimes I'm fucking not. Like sometimes I'll be like on like a fucking health kick, I'll be in the fucking gym 3 days a week, working with a trainer, biking, doing all the stuff, and then all of a sudden I like that was really cool to do for a few weeks or months, and then I'll do a 2, 4, or 5 months being like, I didn't do a goddamn thing besides work. And I guess also when I'm not working out, I'm not saying like I'm not fucking stuffing down just Doritos and fucking Mountain Dew, but I'm not as active as I could or should be certain times, and also that's fair because sometimes working out fucking sucks. I don't care what anybody says. But,
hell yeah, for sure. It's a hard fucking thing to do.
But it comes with taking care of yourself and all that other shit. So with all that in mind, I am not. Again, I'm just kind of like I am comfortable not knowing what's on the other side. But I say that, but who knows what you really know who you are when you'll know who you are once you get to that point.
Yeah.
I think
it's a very telling time, they say.
Yeah, like it's like a jumping off point. Yeah, it's like are you going to jump off and are you going to just go peacefully or are you going to fucking scream? And sometimes and also that also depends like what does that mean? So it's like are you going to go fucking like I don't go gently into that fucking night. I'm like, I'm not either, but I hope that it's gentle.
Yeah.
And I hope that it's super chill and that I die old and with people around me that care about me.
Amen.
And that's all we can really hope. So, yeah.
And with that, we go into another break. What? One, two, three, four. Yep. Get a job. Cool.
Stupid.
We're gonna finish it up tonight with we're gonna do a top 5 because we haven't done a top 5 in forever. Ellen is a new guest and a new pal that we have in the podcast world. So we're gonna do the top 5 songs to make out to.
But before we start though, what is the image that it's gonna be? Is it just gonna be a fucking ladle? Is it gonna be a ladle? It can be a ladle. It'll be a ladle. Is that cool?
What image?
What are you talking about? You being a ladle?
Whenever we do, because we make a playlist out of these songs.
D always has like an image that he does for the playlist. So yes,
the album art.
Yeah.
The album
so
art.
It's either going to be a ladle or it's going to be my style of Morticia and Addams, but from the original Addams Family cartoon.
I think it's the Morticia and Gomez thing. Yeah,
I think it's Gomez holding a ladle with Morticia Addams in the like laying across the ladle. I think that's
how good is your Photoshop skill? Is the question.
It is way below average. Anyway, who's gonna go first? Ellen, can you go first as our guest?
What did I send you? Do you have them in front of you, Sam?
Yours?
Do you want me to? Yeah, I'll pull them up by my messages. Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. I don't see yours. I'm sorry.
Here they are. Number 1, Unstoppable by Lianne Havas.
Okay.
Do you want me to expand on these?
Oh yeah, expand on it, but we're all gonna do one song and then we're gonna keep going in a circle.
Okay. So I hand it off now. Oh, so Lianne Havas, Unstoppable. God, Lianne Havas, so fucking sexy, such like love-making music and like sensualness and I'm so glad you were born.
Oh shit.
Yeah, she just like for me, just this song is like it's like it's slow jammy. It's like it's not like we kiss for 5 seconds and we're fucking, right? There's like a little bit more runway, right?
Right.
We're having a slow and romantic moment.
It gives for the foreplay, and then it's like it's okay that you just go with that,
Yeah, it's like maybe I'm dancing sexy. I don't know. It's not just making out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Making out. We're waiting on the pizza. This is great.
I think a large amount of mine, because like all of mine came off of a list, a playlist I made for myself and my wife, and I think a lot of them just go from like okay, we could be making out, but then you're just gonna be making love to this song as well. So it was like
Yeah.
hard to narrow it down to like a making out list, and then just like, yep, we're gonna fuck, and it's just gonna
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
bad
Yes.
baby, bad baby.
Yes.
What the
Yes.
fuck?
Sometimes, yes.
Hell yeah!
Like
All right, word. Yeah,
that is not Unstoppable.
yeah.
There's no pounding when I'm listening to Unstoppable. Yes.
And with that, I'm gonna go on to my first song.
Please.
Please.
One of the most sexy songs of all time, I think. "Girl Is on My Mind" by the Black Keys.
Oh my God, Sam.
Which I don't know if you know that song, but it's very
I
much
fucking know
like
that song.
a little bit more sexy time. But I was just like, yeah, I could make out to that song too. But like, but I don't know. I love the blues, and that song just has so much attitude, and like, obviously it's very like sexual, and I don't know. I love them, and that's the first song I could think of that was on.
Dude,
my list.
I covered that song in the band with Alex and Gavin, and I fucking love that song.
What were you guys called? The proper nouns, right?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
I
We-
love that.
Oh,
Hell
happy I
yeah.
remember that.
Show enough.
That's dope.
Yeah. Yep.
If there is ever a reunion, please let me know. I will.
Oh God, I don't know. I don't think there will be, but
Okay.
yeah. But if there is, I will let you know. Oof, that is a stretch, though.
Word.
Dee, what's your
Mine
first one?
is, yeah, my first one is the song "Wolf" by Sylvan Esso.
God, love that song.
Yeah,
Yes.
like here's the thing. When I made this song, I was like, it's an order of how the makeout session would start, and then
Okay.
it progressively and aggressively gets sexier as we keep going. So,
Okay, got you. Love that.
And I
Yep.
think mine,
no, that
I think
one-
mine goes the opposite.
yeah.
Really, I'm excited to hear the others then.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the song, it's super chill. It's kind of gets you into it. It's not really aggressive, but once it kind of gets going, you kind of like, I'm having a nice time making
Yeah.
out with
Ah,
you.
ooh. Yeah.
Woohoo. Yep.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta sing sometimes.
Yeah.
All
we'll
right,
have-
what's the second one?
do it right now. This song called "Looking for Knives" by DYAN, DYAN. She has this. I'm really attracted to women with like low voices, like sort of like Florence and the
Yeah.
Machine. Yeah, and so she's got that, and it starts off with a little bit of trouble, and I just love it. And I love it when people like don't enunciate and you're kind of like, what are the lyrics? Like, what are they saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like Sia
Yeah.
does it a
Yeah,
lot with like, she just kind of like melts one word into the next.
Oh my God! Thank you for saying that fucking out loud. I know that it's April, but I started listening to her or to their holiday album for some fucking reason because
Yeah.
I found a song that I really liked on it. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit! And then I was like, this girl is never gonna fucking enunciate her words in the fucking world.
No, she
Like,
doesn't.
do
It's all,
your thing though.
yeah. Yeah. But I kind of like it. So that's my number 2. Sam.
That's a good one. My next one, I love it because it's one of my like all-time like favorite groups, but you would also never think it was by them, but it's such a sexy and sensual song. "Baby I Love You" by the Ramones. But if you like throw this song on, it is not a punk track by the Ramones. It is a full-on love song. And like Joey Ramone's like his singing is so like vulnerable in it, and he's just like talking about it's literally the words are "Baby I Love You," and it's so amazing, and you should listen to it. You should
Oh my
check it
God,
out.
okay.
If there's any recommendation I'm going to give anybody off of my list, it's that song because
I don't know it, so I'm excited.
Fuck yeah, you wouldn't think of the Ramones doing like a love song, kind of a cute little sexy song, but it's really good. So yeah, that was my number 2. What's yours, D?
My number 2 is a song called "Special Affair" by The Internet from the album called Ego Death. It starts out with like this. Oh well, shit. Well, it's like a kind of like doom 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 doom, and then just if you're not familiar with Internet, they have they're like kind of neo soul, and have come out and been really really prominent over the last 5-6 years. But they're like with the whole Golf Wang crew, like Tyler Creator, Frank Ocean. They came from the whole little crew. Phenomenal musicians across the board. I think I've had some other songs before, but that one kind of like puts you in the whole like this bass line will get you naked eventually.
Okay, so it's the bass. It's
Is that a line in the
instrumentation.
song?
It's
that a
no
line?
instrumentation, but then Sid, the lead singer, she just comes and croons her little ass off, and I'm just kind of like, do it, fucking go. And I've gotten to see them live several times, and every time it's kind of like this is. I'm all for sexy music being played anywhere, but when you're seeing it being played at a festival, it's like, no, like, why am I being all hot and bothered and it's fucking 85 degrees outside? Ugh, and then
Yes.
good shit.
Thank you. And we'll be able to access this on the back end.
I'll make a playlist and
Yeah,
everything.
Spotify.
yeah, we'll have a playlist. Yep.
Und ja,
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the Spotify.
Yes.
Und ja, on the Spotify. Number 3 for me, y'all, is
I hope it's Kraftwerk because you just said all Kraftwerk. Like,
no, it's not German, but
Oh
it is "Real Love Baby" by Father John Misty.
my God,
Ooh.
yes.
When
Fuck
this
yeah.
song comes on, I
Yep.
feel the way it makes me feel is the same way I feel about "Lovely Day" by Bill Withers.
Mm,
I am like, yes,
every fucking time, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, love that song.
Love, baby.
Yep.
You don't
Yep.
really face
That's
me.
the
I
one.
want real love, baby. So you know, I want real love, baby. Yeah, that's not how he sings either, but it's fucking great.
Yeah. I
Mm.
just love him. He's got so much
Mhm.
attitude and so much like cleverness in his
does.
lyrics. He's so
Yep.
sassy.
You
Sam.
know what song?
Yep.
And I know that this isn't my next. Sorry, Sam. Like the song that he does. When he sings about how he met his wife. On one of his last albums, like I went to the store one day.
Oh,
That song
really?
fucks me up. Yeah, like it's at the let me see. Father John Misty. It was at the very end of I Love You, Honey Bear. But
What's
the
the
song
name
is
of the
about
song?
like I went to the store one day.
Oh my God. Okay. Oh my
Yeah, and
God.
it
There's a
talks
song
about
called Nothing Happens. Nothing Good Ever Happens at the Goddamn
Thirsty Crow.
Thirsty Crow.
So good.
So good.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
I need to listen to the store song.
Yeah,
Darien.
it's fucking great because it starts. And sorry, Sam, but like it like he's like, I went to the store one day, I met you, and I was like, hey, you seem cool, and then it like then he just jumps all over the place, but he talks about like how like, hey, let's buy some land and have it y'all look like shit from the outside so no one will bother us type shit, and then
Oh my
I need
God.
you to protect me from our 7 daughters type shit, and then don't let me die in a hospital bed. Let the last one let my heart go out the last time that we make love. And I was like, hey bud, that's the fucking dream mostly. This is dope. So
Wow. I have
well,
got to pay this a visit. Wow.
yeah, everyone's listening to it tonight. Sorry, Sam, what's yours? This is not my list at all.
What's your number 3?
my number 3 is "Someone Great" by LCD Sound System. And I just thought of that one right away because it's one of my favorites to dance to get sexy times to. It's just like it's a great feeling song, and I just thought of it because I remember at my wedding I'm talking with my cousin and I'm like wasted, my younger cousin, and I'm just telling him like, yo, you ever want to have a great time with a female or a male or whatever you're into, throw this song on and shit's gonna go down. And then I turn to my right and my aunt, his mother, is just standing there, and I'm diving way too in depth into this conversation at my wedding, and I'm drunk, and then I just walk away. I'm like, But
Oh my God, I love it.
Just that bass beat in the background, just like, I don't know. I think it just promotes sex. So,
I
Dean,
think,
what's your next one?
I think so too.
Oh, my third song is the song "Over My Head" by the Alabama Shakes.
I love the
Kinda
Alabama Shakes.
Yeah,
My
they're
God.
fucking phenomenal. I wish they put out a new fucking album, but I'm also of the mind that good music takes time, and when they do, it's gonna be the shit. Also, pandemic, so that's fine.
That's right.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
wait.
it starts out really slow and it has some little twanging in the back with the guitar, and then it slowly just picks up, and then, I don't know. Once it finally gets going, it's like hopefully everything's happening. You're already in the carnal act of sex, because or just the heavy making out. It doesn't have to necessarily be sex, but just like once this song gets to its zenith, hopefully it's intensified, because this song just and then it doesn't like end all fucking heavy and hard. It just ends like on a really just on like a really smooth note,
Mm,
and then yeah,
yes.
it's fucking great.
And also, like,
Peaks and valleys.
more use of the word zenith, people.
Oh,
Please.
that's a little $15 word for you right there.
God, she's a pretty penny.
Yeah, she has.
Yeah.
Ellen,
Yeah.
what's your
Thank
number
you.
4?
Number 4 is I Love You Always Forever by Donna Lewis from the fucking 90s. I love you always forever, near and far.
Oh,
Dude,
hell yeah.
I fucking
I
love
wouldn't
that
know that by
song.
the artist name, but I do. I love that track from the 90s.
Hell yeah.
That's a good one.
I feel like that song was able to really like it caught a chord that evokes like sadness
Yes.
and joy.
Yeah, because at the end when she's like near and far and always and everywhere and everything. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good vibe,
It'll
dude.
fuck you up if you're not careful.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. It is both sad and happy. Yeah. Sam, what's
some
your
of our
number 4?
favorite songs? My number 4 is "Crazy Love" by Van Morrison. I don't know if you're a Van Morrison fan, but I just think this one's super delightful, and like you were just talking about, like it just gives you a good feeling inside. And it's also just like very sweet. Like, I don't know if I think of like making out specifically, but I think of like, holding someone's hand and being smitten and just like feeling great inside because you're in the presence of this person, which hopefully that turns into making out, like,
Love
so that's like that song made me think of that. And I was raised on Van Morrison. So like I had to throw him on the list. So
yeah.
Love that.
It always starts with a kiss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Or
very,
a peck.
very, very boyish of you. It's very
my next one
adolescent boy speaking.
Well, my number 5 is going to be talking about my adolescence and first times.
Oh, so we really are going back, and we really are like.
That's what I'm saying. Like mine went like reversed, and D's went forward. So
Yeah.
Cool.
What's your 4th one, D? This is where you're
Fourth
like
one.
almost boner, right?
Yeah, at this point, yeah. Oh,
I
Jesus
feel like
Christ, Sam.
I feel like there's been penetration already. Just
Yeah.
just
No,
to be
no,
clear.
no, we are like right now. It is foreplay is in the middle. Like, you're like, all right, cool.
Oh,
then,
it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't. Okay, I'm talking about what? Okay, I think I got really ahead of myself. I apologize. This happens. One in 5 men have these issues.
In your 3rd song, you described the zenith of sex, and I was like, okay. So we're in intercourse. That's what I said.
Okay, all right. So so if you look at it as these songs are, if the song's playing and it's happening already. Oh, okay, never mind. I think there's a joke in there that's at my expense at the end of it. I'm not gonna go any further. My 4th song is "God Is Fair, Sexy Nasty" featuring Kendrick Lamar from Mac Miller.
God,
I don't know that
it's
song,
from
but I just love the title of it.
Dude, it's fucking shit.
Can we get it again?
God Is Fair, Sexy Nasty,
Yeah,
featuring
wow.
Kendrick Lamar by Mac Miller.
Listen.
Yeah, like this whole album was it's from the album called Divine Feminine, and I'll tell you right now, it's fucking dope. I think you're gonna love it. But like the whole album, interspersed throughout, are the sounds of just women orgasming.
Who doesn't love that? I mean,
no, it's fucking great. However, if you're in charge of music that afternoon at the office, and then you play that fucking song, and then all of a sudden over the speakers in front of everyone and God, and it just happens, and it happened multiple times. And there was one time I played the song, and I just kept looking at the time clock on Spotify, being like, as soon as it gets to this point, I'm turning it the fuck off, because I love this song, but this isn't happening, because it's not a rant. You have to announce if you're taking over the music. So if that shit happens, you're sitting there, and then it all goes fucking south, and all of a sudden, hey, we have a client over here in the thing, and then you hear like someone just getting boned.
Love that.
Anyway, the song is dope. The hook is very catchy. Kendrick Lamar, he does the hook on it, and it's fucking gorgeous. The beat's really kind of melodic and has like somebody like played a track backwards to kind of get the vibiness of it. But the song itself, after it's all done, it kind of goes into like some landscapey thing. But it's an 8-minute song, and here's the thing: the last like 5 minutes of the song is the story of this woman of her talking about how she met her husband, and how like she lived in an apartment building, he lived in the next apartment building, and how she like slowly fell in love with him, and like how like everyone else, she met people and they're like, oh, they thought he was great, he's fucking amazing. I already had a kid, and then he loved my kid, and then we raised another kid. We had another kid. A whole thing. She tells this whole story about how she met this man, fell in love with him, and then when he died, and all this other stuff. But like how, like just being a good person and whatever. But like the song ends on that note, So you get like this really sexy, vibey song, and then like vibey landscaping music, and then goes right into this really cute story.
Interesting
That's
that you
sweet.
have
I
two.
like
You
that.
have two. You have two stories. Stories. Oh no, you brought the Father John Misty song that you
Yeah.
referred to wasn't on your list. My bad.
Nope.
But interesting how
Yeah.
you tend to like that narrative quality.
I do, but it's more the song itself, but only because this part's I have to mention it so you're not listening to it like wondering what the fuck's happening or why the song is 8 minutes long. It's because that part's at the end of it.
Gotcha. I see.
But I think the whole album itself kind of being I feel like an homage to just the divine feminine, whatever, in the way that Mac Miller was able to present it to people. I feel like that last part was a nice little bow on top of this already kind of really specific and sexy album. So
Wow.
and I think it
I'll
added to
check out
Mac
the whole
Miller's
thing.
already incomprehensible depth as an artist. So and just he's missed. So
Right.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Mac Miller.
Yeah. Mac Miller, man.
Shout out.
Sam, or who's next?
No.
I'm sorry.
No, it's Ellen's final, the 5th.
My final song is "Burn" by Ellie Goulding. This song is like, dude, like I can run to this song, I can work out to this song. I love this song. This is like meeting a stranger at a bar and like pushing them up against the wall and making out with them. This isn't like
Word.
we're partnered and we're in a committed relationship make out song, you know?
Yeah, from the album Halcyon Days.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Oh.
And
Goulding.
what?
Nothing, Sam. I was just repeating words back.
What's your Sam?
Oh, my final. This one's kind of a guilty pleasure because it goes back to like maybe I had to think of like what the first time I remember like ever making out with somebody and like maybe having foreplay or getting to second base or whatever. And I just think of or the song I had was Every Time I Look for You by Blink-182.
Love that.
That's where I was when I was like 13 years old. And like, you know, when you're just like at the peak of like your horniness and you're just like ready to go. And then you think of fucking American Pie and like all these, like a super like sexual movie and film and all this stuff. But yeah, that's just where my brain went to, of like thinking of like being on your you know, you're hoping that your parents don't like walk in and all this type of shit. Yeah, I don't know.
God, totally.
That was like the last one I thought of. So
I love that. That's bringing back like some like Taking Back Sunday memories for me and like Green Day.
Right.
And like making out to those types of sounds. Yeah, I haven't thought about that in a long time. So thank you, Sam, for Blink-182.
Yeah, that's like not where my brain would go now.
Yeah. For real, I made out to "Don't Wanna Be an American Idiot." Like I think there was alcohol involved.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. What about you, D?
My fifth one is a song called, and it's spelled weird. It's called, it's either pronounced De Evils or Devils or Devils, but it's like D apostrophe Evils, but it's by an artist named Sir, who I've talked about before on this album, and it's from the album November. It came out like 2018. It's just fucking vibey and sexy and dope. He's a fantastic producer and singer, and it is also, if anything, if Over My Head is the zenith, and then God is fair and sexy nasty is where everything's kind of even out, and then hopefully you ended the song when the lady's talking about she met her husband, and then you go right into the evils.
That's your plan.
It's
okay.
fucking dope.
So is this where you're cuddling?
No, I reach over, I'm like reaching over for my phone, be like slamming, like, where's my fucking phone? Turn now.
Yeah.
No, I have had that happen before, like either at the office, like I'm worried about the fucking the horny sounds playing off, and then while I'm in the act, that part of the song starts. I'm like, well, this is fucking awful, and then I'm freaking out.
Yep.
And then the other album comes on.
Thanks,
God,
Sam.
there's something about hearing men make female orgasm sounds that I'm just like, I love this.
You are.
No, mine's like,
yours has a pirate sound for sure.
So mine goes. When I come, it's like, oh, yep, dip, 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 get a job.
Get a job. Oh my god. Okay, well, we're here.
That's fucking funny.
Ellen Melon, thank you so much for being here with us.
My
you are patient, you are kind, you are knowledgeable, and the world is better with you in it. Thank you so much for being.
That means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. Would you like to plug? What would you like to plug? Some more, please. Tell people where they can find you.
Oh, thank you. People can listen to more intimate and like really raw content on my podcast and on Instagram. That's kind of where I am, mostly myself and authentic. As long as Instagram lets me be. They're trying to shut down sex educators and people that talk about this stuff, so I have to be careful. But my handle's at Ellen Melon Show, and that's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Content's coming to YouTube. I just haven't gotten that yet. And some things that are coming up the pipeline for me are I am thinking about a female group coaching program, probably hitting midsummer. And right now, for the month of May, I'm running a beta test on a men's group. It's called the Conscious Men's Group. Kick the ego and connect to your purpose. It's become really clear to me that when it comes to masculinity, there's this idea of legacy and purpose and like wanting to leave something behind to make the world and the earth better. And I'm really curious about that. And I think that if men want to connect to their purpose and legacy, there's some fear and some shame and some limiting beliefs to uncover. And so I'm beta testing that. And then once I do that, I will have a better idea of how to facilitate men's groups. So I'm really excited about.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you're diving into those things just to get a better understanding of the opposite sex.
Cultivating vulnerability and like really showing men like that it's okay to feel their feelings, and like we like, in a heterosexual dynamic, like we really want to see that in you. Actually, we do,
right?
And when we don't, that's just a part of the conditioning that we've had, right? Like women are taught that men shouldn't cry, right? Man up, don't be a pussy. Yeah. We've been taught that too, and that's our shit to unravel as well. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I love that.
Before we hop off, can I ask you guys, is there anything that comes up when I ask you about legacy or purpose?
I think legacy is how you're remembered.
Yeah, it's sort of the footprint or the thing you want to leave behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's how you treated people, how people thought of you, all the little interactions with the world and things that you did that led to actions, or all of your actions that kind of led up to just things moving forward or staying where they are, and what you left behind. And if your legacy is one filled with just living and just you didn't do much, whatever, but something that's also fine. Sometimes people, they just stay where they are, and some people, they do reach out and touch other people. And I don't know. I think it's different for everybody. And some people, they go into it being like, I want to leave a legacy. I want to touch people. I want to do a lot. I want to be I want to be big. I want to be strong. No. And it is what it is.
I want to be remembered.
Yeah, I want to be remembered. Yeah. And some people just are like, listen, I'm just trying to kick it.
Right. Well, I'm a person that I always like think into the future. Like I'm always thinking into the future. I have a hard time living in the moment. But when it comes to like a legacy or like how I want to live my life, I guess I'm more so living in the moment, because I'm not worried about like what you are going to think of me when I die, because I'll be dead. Like I hope that I impacted your life in a positive way, but I'm more so worried about what I'm doing right now to impact your life in a positive way in today, right now, as a human. Like, what am I doing right now that's good for you or whomever,
Yeah. I will also say that if I kick the bucket at any time that isn't when I'm super old, if anyone makes any of those shirts with just like a scanned picture of my face on it with like some fucking like little black marker, gone but not forgotten, you have permission to rip that shirt off of them and tell them like, no.
No, we're
Don't you
making
fucking
those
dare.
We're making those before you die, D. We're gonna make
Fuck
these
you,
things
Sam.
Tomorrow
Yeah,
we go to
tomorrow.
print.
It'll be on the merch page.
Yeah.
We're gonna have merch with D's
I'm
face.
not forgotten.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Morbid.
Oh my god.
With that, D, do you want to read us out tonight?
Fuck. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you want to submit any questions or topics ahead for an episode, you go to bit.ly/FFW grab bag. Make sure you rate and subscribe to Food for Worms on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and whatever you listen to your podcast. Remember, you could be anywhere, but you're here with us, and we appreciate you. Tell your people you love them, and if you're thinking about somebody, let them know. And then we just banter out.
Dun, 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 dun,
Dun, dun, dun, dun.
dun, dun,
Yep,
dun.
yep, 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 yep.
Thank
Thank you, Ellen Melon, for being here. Let's
Thank
have
you,
a
Ellen.
Minnesota. Let's have a second Minnesota goodbye. We'll just keep talking
Love
until
you,
it's
love
like,
you, D.
Gosh,
Love
you know, it's just been so good to be here with you all.
oh yeah, it
Gosh.
has been fucking great, man. Let me tell
God,
you, those goddamn Packers. I just hear that Aaron Rodgers isn't gonna go back to the Packers.
God, there's nothing more I love talking about than football. Gosh.
Yeah, oh, like
Oh, man,
Italia.
Nick.
Yeah, fucking yeah, you win the
Yeah,
Italia. Love you too,
Italia.
Sam.
Food for Worms podcast is a Kiss Kiss Gang Gang production.
It is recorded and mixed by Sam Sarver.
Executive producers are Darien Washington and Samuel David Sarver.
I don't know why we're talking like this. Theme music is by Muffins by Dresden, the Flamingo.
Find us wherever you get your podcasts and hit us up at foodforwormspodcast@gmail.com
for submissions and inquiries.
or stupid questions.
Yeah, we're getting our lunch money back from our school bullies.
What?